deal of all that's expected to get done at some point this summer is from Micah Parsons, who is expected to become the highest paid defensive player in NFL history whenever that deal gets done, and both sides are working to make it happen. It should get done at some point this summer, and it will be a record-setting deal, and it will give the Dallas Cowboys the highest paid player in NFL history in Dak Prescott and the highest paid defensive player in NFL history in Micah Parsons.
You saw Jerry Jones talking to Micah Parsons out there at minicamp. Wonder what they were talking about. Let's go to Dallas now for Cowboys minicamp. Oh, look at the tent there. We got the star on the tent. That's cute. Little campfire. Dak Prescott is there. He's healthy finally, as you see him right there on the field. This from today. Now with another star receiver across from CeeDee Lamb, the George Pickens edition with the new head coach Brian Schottenheimer figures to bolster this offense. Here's more from Dak on the receivers.
It's valuable CeeDee being here. I mean, it's hard to even put in comparison him being here, the work we're able to get versus last year versus him under the contract negotiations.
That is big.
But just to have him here, having these practices, getting off to a good start, understanding each other, what we're trying to accomplish, has been monumental. And then obviously adding GP, something that's been monumental. And I've said it before, when you bring in guys like that, talented guys I've played with over the years, that you look at their resume and they're winning, I mean, that's credit to them. They make that process of me getting to know them that much easier. They know how to get separation. They know how to win at the ball. For me, it's just about learning their bodies and just making sure communicating a few things for them.
Dak just spoke moments ago. Todd Archer, our Cowboys reporter, is out there at minicamp as well. Todd, what stood out to you about watching Dak in this Cowboys offense now with these new additions?
Yeah, Laura, a couple things. Really, over the entire offseason, a lot more shifts, motions, things we hadn't seen from the Cowboys offense, and then speed. George Pickens talked about that on Tuesday. There's speed everywhere that can open up this scheme. Last year, the Cowboys had just 47 pass plays of 20 yards or more. Compare that to 2 years ago, and they had one of the best offenses in the league when they had 64 passes of 20 yards or more. And now remember, Prescott missed the final 9 games last year with that hamstring injury. He's been out there the entire time this offseason. Looks good. He and Brian Schottenheimer really look to be gelling on Wednesday.
Like
Dak had 5 touchdown passes in team and 7-on-7 drills. But let me get back to the receivers. At the end of this month with Dak, they'll go on their summer retreat that they've taken here lately. They'll work out, they'll run, they'll do everything together, get to know each other. And that takes on more importance this year because Lamb is around and Pickens is new. So by the time the Cowboys get to Oxnard for training camp, they expect to be fully on the same page 100%.
Yeah, it's a good point. CeeDee Lamb, of course, going through the contract stuff last year, so wasn't around as much with Dak. You heard Dak referencing that as well. Thanks so much to Todd Archer, the latest from Cowboys camp, which is wrapping up today. Now, we know the Cowboys struggled last season without Dak Prescott under center, but they weren't exactly thriving when he was healthy either. In the first 9 weeks before Dak's injury, the Cowboys still ranked in the bottom half of the NFL in scoring. They also ranked 22nd in yards per play, 24th in expected points added. They had 7 more turnovers than their opponents. Peter, I love what Todd just said about shifts and motions that they're seeing in this Cowboys offense. We've been begging for some of that creativity. When you look at this offense, how much improvement do you expect next season?
I also love to hear what Todd had to say about Dak having both of those receivers there in June. And then, of course, they'll have time together this offseason and they'll hit the ground running come training camp. Look, the stuff that I look at is George Pickens and what he's available to do. And what he came early every single day to this minicamp, showed up, performed. And to hear Dak talk about it just minutes ago saying, GP has been phenomenal. That's the term he said. Here's the quote from Dak. I'm just super excited that he's on our team. He's one of us, and he's our brother now. He's all about continuing to grow and making sure he's putting the best out there, and that's his approach. Remember, guys, 24 years old. He's had his reputation dragged through the mud. You heard about him being late for practices, late for games, and being a sore spot in that Steelers locker room. He can reverse that entire narrative, become a free agent, and hit the absolute jackpot if he is just on his best behavior and he does what he can do. Look, the stuff you've been hearing about George Pickens goes all the way back to his University of Georgia days. He hasn't been able to put it all together, but he's had a perfect spring with the Cowboys since arriving.
Perfect.
Can he keep it going?
Perfect.
You know what? Reverse his reputation and hit the jackpot. That's how we got Peter Schrager here at ESPN. So I'm all for it. Whenever you have Dak Prescott using language like brother, he's already on nickname terms, GP, you know that they're super excited. And it should lift their offense. This is a match made in heaven. Because even if you look at George Pickens, although he's young, he also doesn't really know what it's like to play alongside another bona fide wide receiver. Because he had to be a one, and he hasn't had, much of options on the other side to take some of that attention away. With CeeDee Lamb, who also is starving for a great number two, and for Dak Prescott, it allows him to see the field. It allows defenses to play them honest, and then you can really see and get the potential out of Dak Prescott that is there and what warranted him being the highest paid quarterback in the league.
Listen, this Dallas offense is going to undergo a lot of changes this upcoming season. George Pickens will be one of them. They're still looking to establish their running game. They're going to be leaning on Javonte Williams, who they signed as a free agent, Jaden Blue, who they drafted.
We all agree Trey will be right? But
well, hello, good people and Eagle fans and Commander fans. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. We are into the there ain't shit going on part of the season. Let's be real here. There ain't shit going on, okay? There's nothing. Minicamp is done. It's over, okay? We're sitting around waiting for training camp, okay? Because we sitting here wanting to talk about practice. Not the games. Not the games. We want to at least talk about practice, and we can't do that. Let me start with the lovely ladies. We got Lady Libra in the house. What's up, lady? Over on Cowboy Joe Boo. Appreciate you. And there's Holly Pierce in here. We got Logan Motorsports, who's always here. Always. Shout out to Logan Motorsports, Eagle fan that he is. Joe DeMasi, Dustin Bosley, Derek Young, JD 1965. Were you born in 65? Are we the same age, man? Alex is in here. Dan 1995. Chris May. Shout out to Chris May right now, who's in second place. Holly Pierce is in first place right now on our countdown. Let's see who's going to win tonight and get a shirt or something else. Let's see who else is in here. We got Alan Williams and Derek Young. What's going on, gentlemen? How are you doing? So, a couple of things that I want to bring up here. This one is kind of cray-cray. I talk about players having to understand that they have a target on their back. There was a little bit of a dust-up with Micah Parsons basically going after D-Law, who basically went bankrupt. We know that, what's his name in Jacksonville, just got married without a prenup, spending $400,000 for a Mercedes SUV for his girl. We know about Des Bryant, who basically got loans in college that he was still in debt to 2 years after and was bankrupt. Being a football player, you have a target on your back that everybody is looking to get that money. And, when you hear $25 million a year, well, almost half of that's going to go to taxes. Then you got the agent's hands out, then you got all them hoes that you're dealing with and everything else. And before you know it, you ain't got jack. And this is one of those stories that I sit here and say, why? Let's go to the tape here. This is Trayvon Diggs's baby's mama, okay? But wait, there's more. It's not just Trayvon Diggs. That's the mama. Travis Hunter, thank you, Eileen Williams, appreciate it. Travis Hunter. But Future is a baby daddy. Trayvon Diggs and Bow Wow. Why? If you already knew she got two celebrity dads, what the hell are you doing? Listen to her. Hold up.
Tired, y'all. It's like having 2 kids is one thing. Having 3 is like having 10. The babies is where they at. I need a break. Shy is with her dad. Hendrix is I'm having 2. It's so hard to manage a business and make sure I'm overseeing that Instagram. says stop having them if you're tired. Good one. Shut up. People be tired without kids. Like, what are you talking about?
What? What the hell? I'm tired because I've got 3 babies and I'm trying to run a business. What is running the business? Celebrity dad? What? Are you kidding? It's not like, you're struggling and you got to, get him off the school. Well, one of them's with the dad. The other one, I don't know where he is. I don't know where he is. Why are we passing these chicks around? I am speechless. I don't understand. I don't understand. Okay? Guys. And I'm not going to put it all on the ladies. I'm not going to put it on the ladies because some of them are, really in love. And so, yeah, they are, But I'm sorry, guys. You got to be careful out there, man. You have to understand you have a target on the back. I remember, some of y'all may remember we had DeMario at my house, okay? Ainsley Battles, who also, he played for Jacksonville and he played for the Steelers, was also there. And he was telling us some of the stories because he's like, being an NFL player isn't what you think it is, okay? It's hard to get there and it's hard to stay. He said, for some players, you're borderline, you hear about a guy getting released. Okay, you get released and then you get brought back. You get released, you get brought back. And those guys aren't making the millions of dollars. And he said it happens so frequently that there was a player whose locker was right next to him that he got cut so often that one time they forgot to tell him that they cut him. He shows up to go to practice and starts putting the shoes on, and the shoes don't fit. He's like, what the hell? Dude walks up to him and says, yo, bro, you in my locker. And he looks up and he sees another name on the locker. He had been cut and didn't know it. But he told me about one of the backup quarterbacks. The backup quarterback was cut. Okay? He was cut and he was leaving. And he said to his girl, okay, baby, I've been cut. Let's go. She's like, okay. Bye. What? What do you mean? You my girl? I'm your girl while you got a job playing the NFL. I'm going to go check him out now. So we have professional sports players, women. And it goes on even beyond that because so many of these players get used and abused as far as their money goes. There's a business of moving them into luxury homes and moving them the hell out of luxury homes. I think Brian so far is okay, but I'll give a real take on him by week 8. And okay, Willie, I like that. Yeah, well, I think he's okay. I'm going to get into Brian Schottenheimer. Oh, no. Momo, screw your team. Because, see, you had idiots like Brian Arakbo. Brian Arakbo was so stupid. See, he was one of those ones who figured, I need a different house for every day, a different place to stay for every day of the week. Bro had like 7 houses. And it's like, why would you have 7 houses? You going to have clothes at each one of these houses? I mean, when you do your laundry? Wait a minute. And now he lives in an apartment. A fool and his money are soon departed. And then you get guys like Tariq Hill who decide, let me have 5 baby mamas in 1 year, and I just got married. It's like, bro, you do realize that you're going to be paying child support for every one of those kids for the rest of your life, and it's based on what you're making right now. Tariq Hill, what job are you planning on having after you get out of the NFL? I'm just saying, you've got to be more careful, guys. You're going to get used and abused, not just by the hoes on the streets. Your family is going to look to you and say, you got a lot of money. You're supposed to give me some. Wait, I can't hold it. I'm the one who's out here destroying my body to get here to make it big. Why am I paying for my cousin Vinny for his car and his entourage? Why am I responsible for all that? Because what happens is they all there with their hands out, and when they're done, you're done and you're broke, they ain't there for you. So be careful out there. And Momo, don't come in here guns blazing. Momo, seriously. You know how bad I'm going to tell you, Momo, your team is going to be this bad. See, you see how, he's got to leave now. Look, you see that? Oh, I just got him on black. Oh, wait a minute. I'll be right back. I got to leave right now. See how them Commander fans are? Oh, there's no rivalry. We're superior. We're superior to y'all. You know, y'all just, that's how your team's going to be. That was a foreshadowing. You dropping your pants, bro. You mooning the live stream. Okay? I'm kind of mystified. Now, again, I live in the Washington, D.C. area, so I do hear a lot of Washington Commanders with the left hand up news. Okay, I'm sorry, Holly. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody, but I had to put Momo in his place, man. But something's going on in Washington. Last year was aces for the Commanders. Last year, everything was great for them. Everything worked out. They got the rookie quarterback who looked at like, he's all pro. We got Momo who swears that everything is going to be great next year, that they're going to end up being, 11, 12 win team. They're going to win the division. And I kind of say, Momo, pump the brakes, man. Pump the brakes a little bit, because you do realize that you lost to the Cowboys last year with Cooper Rush. No disrespect to Cooper Rush, but we weren't exactly like, that Super Bowl contending type team last year. We were like yo ass last year, okay? Some of the teams that you beat, like Tennessee, that had the number one pick, the Bears. The only teams you beat with winning records last year was the Cincinnati Bengals that were 9-8, and the Philadelphia Eagles, who had nothing to play for. That's it. Everybody else that you beat during the regular season was a loser. Now, you got problems. Debo, I bet you Debo and I could wear the same pant size right now. No bullshit. No, I'm being serious. Debo looked like chunky, okay? He looked like he's been hanging out at the barbecue shop. Noah Brown went across the middle and went down. He's supposed to be getting MRI sometime in the next day or two with a mysterious injury, okay, that they're not disclosing, and it seems to be serious. You got Scary Terry not signed. I'm sure you'll get signed. But see, we understand when you have a protracted holdout, Momo. Dak Prescott put it in there. Having CD here now working out is huge for us. Getting George Pickens here now working out with OTAs will make all the difference. What's up, D Moore in the house? Shout out to D Moore. D, we want some more. Welcome. We understand what it's like not to have your receivers working out with you, because Dak went into training camp with mysterious knee infection with Brandon Cooks, CeeDee Lamb not there, And that's how we started the season. You got that situation. You got that situation with your team right now. Oh, and Michael Gallup, he's got a hamstring injury. So you've got some real problems going on with the – yeah, Momo, did you hear about the stadium situation? The D.C. Council's about to F that deal up. They decided because it's supposed to be passed by them by July so they can keep the schedule going. The city council in D.C. is kind of like, we're in no rush. We want a better deal. I want you to line my pockets with some cash. So they may or may not have a new stadium. If I'm Dan Quinn, I tell Terry McLaurin every week he holds out, he gets benched and suspended for a game. The real fan one, that sounds great in theory, but the reality is if you ain't got him, Debo, they needed Debo to show up last year, and Debo was not the guy. Debo hasn't been the guy for 3 years. So you can say, yeah, I'm going to bench. That sounds great. Yeah, we're going to bench you. We're going to bench you. Okay. And you're going to be, cutting off your nose to spite your face. That ain't going to work. Momo, respect. I ain't going to respect you. Momo. I didn't respect your team when they were a dynasty under Joe Gibbs. Okay? I didn't respect them then. I damn sure am not going to respect them now, Momo. I am an old dog, and this old dog, you ain't teaching me that trick. Screw those Commanders. Okay? No, I ain't respect. Momo, are you going to respect my Cowboys? Are you going to respect my Cowboys? Yes or no? Yes or no? You're not. You're not. So. Oh, wrong one. Damn. Oh.
Situation requires
Or you, Momo.
A lot more, and you shut your mother ass up.
There you go, Momo. That's what the situation requires. All right, so now that we've done bitch slapped the Commanders and we've done gone through and said, damn, these players are nasty. They nasty. How you going to have a woman that got 3 baby daddies that are all celebrities? And I'm wondering if she's looking for a 4th. You do not respect. You do, Momo, you ain't never said anything nice about it. You done disrespected my man, Micah Parsons, every single day. You done talked about Dak sucks and everything. You don't respect my team. Stop lying. Stop lying. Hope your sister's doing okay. All right. On to the next thing here. You know, my question and topic for tonight, because, listen, there ain't much going on, okay? There really is not. The only thing we can focus on is Micah Parsons' contract, okay? Debo's expecting. Looked like he's expecting twins up in there. I got my shot glass and stress bar. Sorry. Glad you got a JD. Michael Anthony got him. I can imagine the phone calls. Clean that thing out, baby. I'm coming over. Oh, dirty. Damn. Debo showed up minicamp looking like he'd been training with DoorDash instead of dumbbells. Wide receiver. Oh man, damn. Y'all are cold. Y'all are cold. There's not much going on. It's just now Micah Parsons. But here's where it's crazy. ESPN kind of got called out. Specifically, Stephen A. Smith. You think the Cowboys are going to get Ramsey next month? Okay. That would be a surprise. James, no. The Gopher, look, that damn Gopher. He teases me. Look, here's what I tried to do, man. I tried to make peace with the Gopher, James. My wife got this bird feeder, looks like a picnic table, right? So we got lots of squirrels out. Squirrels chasing each other, playing in the yard. We're trying to be friendly to the environment. I'm trying not to use pesticides out there to kill the bugs because they kill the lightning bugs and everything else. So I'm trying to be one with nature. So we got the little picnic table, right? I got some dry ears of corn because squirrels and birds like to eat that. I got peanuts to go in there and food for the squirrels and things. And I got that down on the deck, right? I've got bird feeders and hummingbird feeders so the birds can get something to eat. I got pretty birds, red birds, yellow birds, and, black birds and brown birds. I got birds galore, okay? And they're happy. And the birds end up making birds' nests in the plants and hanging on the front. No. Then there's the groundhog. I put the groundhog, the gopher scram array around, and I think it calls them. I think they say, this mother humper thinks that this stuff's going to scare me. I use this as deodorant and rolls around in it to tease me. So I wake up this morning, and I got a camera out there, right? So I see the squirrels running around, they hopping up on the bench and eating on the corn, grabbing the peanuts and shit, right? And here come the groundhog. He'd go over there with his fat ass, and I mean he's fat because he's been eating up all my shit. I'll check your email. Okay, Vinny, I'll check my email. I'll forward it to Michael and get it sent out to you. And so the groundhog, he grabs a peanut too, and then he eats some corn and stuff. So I think, okay, good. He's eating that stuff. He'll leave my plants away. This mother humper, after eating the peanut, eating some corn, he goes over to the flower pot, and the camera, I can see him on the camera, and gets, what do they call it? Oh, shit. One of the flowers we have. It's good to keep the mosquitoes away. Damn. But just seeing him, he's stretching his ass on up, and he's just eating the freaking flower. Just eating the freaking flower. It's like, man, bro, I put food out there. Why you got to take my flowers? Hate the damn gophers. All right. Sorry, I digress. I got a lot of anger in here for the groundhog eating my shit, okay? Momo, don't lose any games. I will be worse than Leo. No, you can't be. But I appreciate the super chat. Appreciate the super chat there, Momo. All right. There ain't much going on. We know this, okay? My point tonight was, do you now believe in Brian Schottenheimer? Do you believe that he's going to be a decent coach? Do you believe that this offseason has actually been a good offseason and will make a difference when it comes playing a season? Now, to be clear, we all know that injuries, you just don't know. You just don't know. And as much as I'm bitch slapping Momo, appreciate Momo super chat and all that. It really helps the channel continue to do what we do. I don't know what we do, but it helps us do that. But you're sitting here in minicamp, and you got Noah Brown going down, possibly ACL. You got hamstring issues with Michael Gallup. You got a holdout, and you got a guy who's a fat ass. So all of a sudden, what you thought was a strength, you got four guys that you got an issue with. Your top four. And that's what football is. You don't know what you don't know. Anybody could be, slip out at the pool trying to catch their phone and break their ankle. You don't know what you don't know, and losing a couple of players can change the projection of a season. And we know this because, we've been counting on players like Tyron Smith and saying, the big guy's going to stay healthy, and he doesn't, and we don't have a plan B, and you have a problem. Stop bringing that score. It doesn't affect me. I supposed to cry? Okay. No. You know what? We don't want you to cry. We just want you to be mad, Momo. We want you to be mad. That's all. That's all. Momo, you still lost. Lady Libra says she'll be right back. Ultra Cowboy, Dak holding a choking retreat. Ultra Cowboy, the Ultra hater. Randy McIntyre, Shotty brings freshness and new to the boys. Okay, that I can definitely say. More than anything else, I think the Cowboys are trying to make Shotty successful. I don't feel like they tried to make Mike McCarthy successful. In the same way that Jerry Jones says we're going to do more with less. That's literally would be exactly how they treated Mike McCarthy's career here in Dallas. Mike McCarthy, you're going to do more with less. They didn't sign any big names. They didn't move the needle. They ended up losing. I bet you if we go through the list, and maybe I'll do that tomorrow. We'll go through the list of the players that they added at the time that Mike McCarthy was here versus the players that left. And you'll see probably more talent leaving than they actually came in. And you add into that where you got a draft from Mozzie in the first round and Schoonmaker, where you got nothing. Tyler Guyton. You start looking at those drafts, and those drafts didn't help you much. And you had Mike McCarthy here, talking about, I'm happy about the roster, because you were scared to say anything about Jerry Jones because you can't put the real deal out there. But if you remember how pissed off everybody was. Momo, I'm sorry, hon. You're coming up to see her this week, Momo? Let me know if you have some time, Momo. I'll make some time for you. I'm gonna be back up that way this weekend. Actually, although it's so hard out here being a Cowboy fan because my friend Allie that we went to JMU with, okay, she's coming down this weekend with her boyfriend. And we're going to see Earth, Wind, and Fire. Now, I don't know how much fire is left with Earth, Wind, and Fire because they old. Okay, they old, okay? But we're going to see Earth, Wind, and Fire. But Allie is that Eagle fan that is like Philly 500, always sending me gifts and all that stuff of how much the Eagles are good and how bad the Cowboys. So I got that to go on with. But Momo, for you, buddy, I'll make some time. Seriously. And speaking of time, I don't know that I have it right now. Don't forget Angry Cowboy, who lost his brother. Unexpectedly, something happened in the hospital that wasn't quite right and so on, and did not have insurance. And they're trying to get him to get the funds together to be able to get him cremated and so on. So I will post the link. I had that yesterday. I'll post the link for it. Actually, it's on my Facebook page. If you go to Mark Holmes' Facebook page, it's on there. If you can donate to help him out, please do, because when you lose somebody and you don't have the funds and stuff, it's hard. It's really hard. Do you remember? Yeah, but Holly, Earth Wind, they got to be in the 70s, girl. They got. I don't know how much. They might be ready for the Earth. They might be ready to be dust in the wind, and I don't know how much fire's left. But we're gonna find out this weekend. All right, so when Brian Schottenheimer was hired, he was the butt of the jokes. Now, with ESPN, the ESPN kind of got bitch slapped today because they got called out. Because Stephen A. Smith, who just got the big fat contract while their network is literally going down the toilet, okay? They are literally losing money. They have been jettisoning good talent for a long time. And they have Pat McAfee and they got Stephen A. Smith as the two big contracts that are there that are sucking up all the money. And here it is, during the NBA Finals, Stephen A. Smith is playing freaking solitaire. The hell is that? That shit is bad as Trayvon Diggs' baby mama that got three different celebrity dads. What the hell are you doing? You're playing solitaire during the NBA Finals? Seriously? And here it is. You got the NBA Finals. You got other sports news going on. The only thing they talked about, first lead, is Dak Prescott and his legacy. Bro, we ain't even in season. We ain't even in doing practice right now. What the hell is going on? But let's go back on memory lane with Michael Irvin on how he felt about Brian Schottenheimer. He basically said it's going to take an act of God for Brian Schottenheimer to do good.
We got to ask you, is Brian Schottenheimer going to change the Cowboys franchise? They got the Mike McCarthy era is over.
Right, and the new era is here. Now, there are great odds against Brian Schottenheimer turning around the Cowboys in a great way. But now that the hire is made, what I do is buy in and try to find that hope. And then you start thinking on a deeper level. Maybe God is doing something that our meager minds can't really consume.
All right.
So maybe what he's doing now is taking the least lightly to do the most greatest.
I love the
so
optimism.
Then you'll know it was nothing but God. See, if he takes somebody great and then produce somebody great, you'll say the man did. But when he takes a Brian Schottenheimer, the least lightly of them all, and then he gives them that position and he does something great, you yourself will say, it must have been God. You damn well know it was Schottenheimer. I'm giving y'all free sermons. I'm gonna stop.
Is it time to
That
move
was
on?
some cold shit there.
Is it time to move on from Dak?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Wow. Wow. Faith. The faith.
See, that's talk of haters that want to keep some spinning mess going when you got all of these teams out here fighting for their very, very important position. And you have a guy like Dak Prescott, who was the second in MVP voting last year when he was healthy, talking about his retirement.
Hall of Fame.
Stop.
Hall of Fame.
Stop. I only have so much brain equity. Can't put it on dumb shit. That's dumb shit.
I can't put it on dumb shit. Okay, so that was the playmaker literally saying, if Brian Schottenheimer is successful, it's only because God did it. Because it's certainly nothing that Brian Schottenheimer's got. And to a man, that's literally how much hate that he got from people. Nobody, and I mean nobody gave Schottenheimer any chance. They basically looked at this and said, it's Dave Campo all over again. Let's go to the tape. Let's go to it.
Cross the finish line and hire Brian Schottenheimer possibly today.
What?
That is settling. We are watching the fall of a great American institution. He's not even interviewing for other jobs. Nothing against him. Nice guy. 3 jobs, 5 seasons, never been a head coach, never really been a top candidate for a head coach, but Jerry likes him. He's bounced around the league. Again, Dad was a legend, nice guy, but 7 and 10 football teams don't move off a coach and then hire the offensive coordinator who didn't call plays. I've never even heard of that. I mean, in any industry, you do not let good people leave the building, right? Like we all know, like Liam Cohen is this kid at Tampa, the resurrection of Baker Mayfield. He went and interviewed for the Jacksonville job. He said, no, thank you. He was such a good candidate. The owner of Jacksonville fired the general manager who couldn't close the deal. He goes back to Tampa, and they're going to make him the highest paid coordinator in the league offensively. Or Ben Johnson, who's going to show up 25 minutes on our show. He was like the leading candidate for 4 jobs. Brian Schottenheimer wasn't a candidate for any other job. I looked at his bio this morning. It's lateral moves. Entire career, college pro. What are we doing? Elite employees don't make lateral moves. Maybe at the end of their career, but not at the beginning and middle. I mean, watch Vegas react to this. So it just illustrates the directionless state of the Cowboys. Mike McCarthy, a Super Bowl winning coach, to Deion Sanders, a very promising college coach, to an offensive coordinator in the building for a 7-10 team that didn't call plays. What are we doing? Dallas Cowboy fans, I'm not overreacting here. You would become the Jaguars. You are lost at sea.
Woo.
Jaguars can't find a coach. None of the top candidates are interested. Cowboys now handing the keys to somebody who's not a candidate for anybody else. No, Dan Campbell wouldn't have the power and the control of the locker room and probably a say upstairs in personnel. I mean, McVay's got power with the Rams. Shanahan does. In San Francisco, Belichick did. Andy Reid doesn't want it, but could.
Oh, my goodness. So that was the reaction by everybody, and I mean everybody, on Brian Schottenheimer. So my question to you guys, Walker Wade, have to see it's not giving anyone benefit that, which Wade do we have tonight? Which Wade do we have? Okay, Wade, you have to admit, from what you got from Playmaker, who said the only chance we have is an act of God, to Colin Cowherd literally saying he's the worst ever, that you've got no chance in hell, that the Dallas Cowboys are the Jacksonville Jaguars. You have to at least feel better about what the Cowboys organization has done to try and support him. We have not seen during the Mike McCarthy 5 years them bring in a George Pickens or, hell, even a Dante Fowler. The biggest moves that the Cowboys made during the Mike McCarthy time was Brandon Cooks. I'm not going to put Brandon Cooks up there with George Pickens. And Stephon Gilmore. That's it. That's the list. That's the list of the biggest players. Well, I guess you could say Dante Fowler, coming off of a 5-sack season with the Atlanta Falcons. That was another big one. Other than that, in comparison to what you've seen other teams do, you compare that to where we are now. Now, here's a funny one for you. So Dak Prescott, who was asked about his legacy, and he said, I don't care about the legacy. I want to win championships. And everybody went off on that. Oh, my God. You might want to make the playoffs there first and win a couple of games. Why don't you say, NFC championship game or something? Okay. Let's see if these mother humpers do anything with this one. So let's go to another team not named the Dallas Cowboys. Running back Chuba Hubbard, who's with the Carolina Panthers, okay? Carolina Panthers. Oh, shit. Chuba Hubbard said that the Panthers, the Carolina Panthers, okay, plan on winning the Super Bowl this year. Oh, shit. That's always been the goal. That's the goal this year, and I think we're going to be the closest we've ever been. I think guys are finally sick of being the same old Panthers. I bet you it won't get a blip on the radar. I bet you nobody will give a rat's ass about one of the worst teams in football that their star running back said, we going to win the Super Bowl this year. I can guarantee you it won't lead ESPN or Colin Cowherd or the faculty or the facility or the three jackasses that are on Fox early, that nobody will say shit about that because it's all about the Cowboys. As much as you Eagle fans, see Eagle fans, Commander fans, and 40 Whiner fans, that you punk-ass biatches, okay? Let me say that to you, 49er fans, because I know, Jay Maxwell, you're watching right now, but you're too scared to actually come in on a live stream and make a comment. You got to go ahead and do a hit and run email to me on a regular basis when your sorry-ass team, and that's right, I said sorry-ass team, where your team literally had a great coach and actually goes out and gets tons and tons of talent, and your ass chokes in the Super Bowl. I don't want to hear you guys talking about the Cowboys, because the Cowboys have won a Super Bowl since after your last one. You were ass. You came off a Super Bowl, and you ended up drafting ahead of us because you suck. So, stop being a bang Niner gang biatch that's afraid to say something in the comments. Be a man. You got something to say to me? Come join me live so I can respond in real time. See, all of you Commander, Eagle fans, and 40 Whiner, bang, Niner gang, are all just like ESPN. The Cowboys, you don't want to admit it. You live for the Dallas Cowboys. You want the Dallas Cowboys. You can't make it without being here talking about the Dallas Cowboys. You mother humpers are here talking more about the Dallas Cowboys than your own team. You know more about the Dallas Cowboys than your own team. Seriously. Momo doesn't even know half the teams he played last year that were ass. Oh, breaking news. Debo changed his name to Doughboy Samuels after leaving the 49ers. Damn, I like that. So, Chubba Hubbard, the Panthers are going to win the Super Bowl. Okay. I'm going to remember that. We'll see. We'll see if anybody has anything to say about that. Not me. I can live without the Dallas Cowboys. I come here to chill out and have fun. Okay, Logan. Okay. Mark, I'm still going to put pressure on the Jones boys because the roster is not enough. Dan, I will agree with you on that one. Now, here's where we maybe have hope. One thing the Cowboys are always used to doing is getting more talent during training camp and after training camp. They do. Typically, that's their free agent period. Now, for the Cowboys to have already gone through and, tried to fill out the roster, we definitely went from being a weakness of wide receiver to all of a sudden having it as a strength, right? We went from having linebacking as a weakness to now being a strength. We have incredible edge rushing potential right now. So you have to look at it and say they've done a lot to help fill out the roster. They're rolling the dice on the offensive line that Tyler Guyton can be the starter and that Terrence Steele will improve being more balanced. Might be a little bit of a worry there. I would have liked to have seen some competition for Tyler Guyton to kind of force him. Thomas, no one wants to be a Cowboy fan. Who likes me? Oh, Drew. Seriously, Drew. Buddy, I know you ain't acting like you a winner after 1 year. Bro, 1 year. You had one good season where you beat two winning teams. 2. You're going right back into the garbage heap, bro. Don't act like the command. Bro, do I need to go through the lineage? You were so bad with quarterbacks that you trade for Mr. Tosses Cookies, Donovan McNabb. When that blew up after 1 year, you decided to draft, spending 3 number ones and a second for RG3, who was good for 1 year, and then went all in with Adidas to go all in the garbage. Now, you did have Kirk Cousins, but he was smart enough to get the hell out of there after you franchise tagged him not once but twice and let him walk and got nothing for him. Who loses a franchise quarterback and gets nothing for him? You went out and you said, well, hey, we're going to get a former number one pick, first pick in the draft, and Alex Smith, and he proceeds, after sucking ass the first half of the season, to have a catastrophic spiral fracture on his leg. And then you decide to draft Dwayne Haskins, who spent his time hanging at the club, getting tipsy, making it rain, rest his soul. And that's before you even got to guys like Eyebrows and all of these other bums. Bro, you cannot call yourself a winner if you are a Commanders fan. You've had one good year. One good year. Now take that shit back. Now get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Excuse my language. Mark, who's your daddy now? World champs. My dad's in heaven. There you have it. My dad's in heaven. Eagles will never be my daddy. Drew, tell that 8 million Cowboy fans and see what happens. One of these days, I'll type numbers, right? Okay, there you go. Boy, this has been kind of fun. Cowboys are winners. They're more winners than the Commanders are. Commanders haven't won, was it 1990 when they won a Super Bowl last? World chumps. 3 Super Bowls and 4, winning all 3 at Drew. Oh, boy. Mark, imagine Cleveland beating the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Cleveland? Okay. Drew, you beat an injured team last year. Eddie, I ain't knocking shit off, bro. Look, this is my house, okay? I'm old. I'm 59 and a half years old. I'm entitled to be the angry guy on the front porch telling you to get off my lawn. Get off my lawn, man. Get off my lawn. If I want to believe that my Cowboys and their history mean something, well, by all means, I'm going to do that. And if you don't like it, then you can step out of my house. Joe, Dallas was a bad team. You let a terrible Saints drop 40 on you. Well, at the time, the Saints weren't terrible. They actually came out really hot. I'm going to give you that one. But, you know, they went off the face of the earth. Their Super Bowl was destroying the Dallas Cowboys. And Holly's in second place. Who's in first place? Logan Motorsport's in third. Who's in first place right now as we're rolling around? Chris May is in first place. Being an Eagle fan is like bragging about your poop emoji collection. Sure, it's green, but it still stinks. Damn. Wow. Okay. Now, Momo's got me pissed off today. Mark, why Eagles in Washington make it look easy? Eddie, some years it's just like that, bro. Some years it's like that. Last year, we had self-inflicted wounds. Jerry Jones started out the offseason pissed off at Mike McCarthy and literally did nothing to help Mike McCarthy be successful. And that's what you get. If you go through, I don't know how old you are, but if you went in school and you waited until, the night before to study for your final exam and hadn't gone to class all semester, what do you think you're going to get when you take the exam? You're going to fail. And the Cowboys failed the exam last year. They let go Tony Pollard, let go Dorrance Armstrong, let go Dante Fowler. Van Der Esch ended up retiring because of his neck and everything else. Stephon Gilmore went. Tony Pollard went. Biotish went. Tyron Smith went. And you didn't replace anybody other than Van Der Esch with Eric Kendricks, a guy who right now can't even get a job. How do you expect that to be successful? It wasn't good enough to make it deep in the playoffs. So how do you think having less of it is going to win? So you reap what you sow, and the Cowboys, well, they didn't sow shit. This year they're trying to sow some shit. I think Dak will win MVP this year. Everyone has forgotten what happened when he had Cooper now and Pickens got ready. Well, I got to say, according to the boys at Pro Football Focus, they gave George Pickens a 99 last year in deep passes. He was damn near perfect. And as far as being here with the Dallas Cowboys, he's been pretty good as far as Dak says he's first guy here to work out. He's excited. He's got flypaper hands. He's catching everything. He seems to be motivated because he wants to get paid. He's excited to be away from Pittsburgh and hanging out here in Dallas. That may be the perfect move that elevates Dak Prescott, because you can look around and you can see around the NFL, everybody's got two great receivers these days. If you don't, you're going to be ass. Wait, Mark, didn't you say last year's team was better than the 23 team? I said, no, I don't think I did. No. Because I'm going to tell you what I said last year, Drew. I said, in order for the Cowboys to be successful, this is the truth. And you can go back. I don't know that you were watching me back then or not, because I don't remember you being an asshole last year. I said the Dallas Cowboys are going to have to thread the needle, that they're going to have shit go perfect. I said because we can't stop the run. I said we're going to need Mozzie Smith to all of a sudden become Aaron Donald. Well, that didn't happen. I said Sam Williams is going to have to take a big step forward and end up being a really good pass rusher. That guy got injured first day of training camp. I said Schoonmaker's going to have to play better, and we're going to need Jake Ferguson to continue to ascend. Ferguson was hurt. Schoonmaker was a little bit better, but he was only 250 yards and receptions. I said we're going to need Tyler Guyton to come out and be able to take the place of Tyron Smith. Well, that didn't happen. And Cooper Beebe to become Travis Frederick. Cooper Beebe's heading in that direction. And I said Tony Pollard is going to have to become an all-weather running back. And he wasn't. So everything that we had to do, we didn't. And I said we had to stay healthy. So on paper, if everything had went right, yeah, you could be. But everything went wrong. You didn't have Brandon Cooks for like the first 6 games because of mysterious knee infection. You lost Micah for 5 games. You lost Dak for 9 games. You got 2 rookie offensive linemen starting. You literally were pulling guys off the street to be edge rushers. Dan, Mark, check out the trade package that's being talked about. Janu Smith to the Cowboys for Luke Schoonmaker and a conditional draft pick to the Dolphins. I don't know that you're going to get much for Schoonmaker, but I'll check that out. Now that's of course one of the good old proposed trades. It's not actually a trade that the Cowboys and the Dolphins are talking about. Imagine Kellen Moore winning the Super Bowl for the Cowboys. Remember, Philadelphia, shut up. You know what?
Situation requires is a whole lot more, and you shutting your mother ass up.
Dwayne Sweetie, Mark, even if it was healthy, we're still getting run through. I'm tired of hearing all the excuses. Well, Dwayne, the only thing I can tell you is if you're tired of hearing the excuses, I guess you need to find another team. I mean, that's the only thing you can, that's all that's left. Loyal, you're at Mandalay Bay. Shout out to you, Loyal. What's the deal with Leo and roid rage the other night? I mean, hemorrhoid rage. Oh, man. That's just Leo. I told y'all, oh, my God. I'm not even going to read them. I do remember Philadelphia. Yeah. Well, congratulations. You got it. Okay? You guys are the bomb diggity. You're Super Bowl champions and everything else. But yet you can't seem to keep the Dallas Cowboys out of your head. You still have to be talking about the Cowboys. All right, good people. As always, it's been a pleasure being here. Let's review some of the things we've dealt with. Philadelphia and his 50 million emojis. There's Momo's ass. There's Bang Bang Niner Gang that are punk-ass biatches. That's right, Jay Maxwell. I called you a punk-ass biatch because you'll sit there and you'll watch the videos. You'll watch every single one of them, but yet you're too scared to comment. That's, by definition, a biatch. And with that being said, let's see. Is it Chris May? Chris May, are you our winner for tonight? Chris May is the winner. Chris, I got to get you something. I got to get you something else, man. And Dan the Man is second, and Holly Pierce. Shout out to Holly. She doesn't sleep much at night. Shout out to Holly. She's in third place, and Logan Motorsports is in fourth, and bringing up the rear is Dirty Sanchez at 5. All right, good people. As always, I appreciate you, and it's time to turn out the lights. This party's over.
The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old.